What if that deep ache in your chest isn't just grief? What if those strange dreams, those sudden chills, those coincidences that keep happening, are actually messages from heaven? And what if your father, the one you thought was gone forever, is closer than he's ever been, not just watching over you but actively trying to reach you? Before you scroll away, ask yourself, why this video right now? That question alone might be the proof you've been ignoring, and the beginning of a spiritual awakening that will change everything. You were led here, not by chance, not by the algorithm, but by something greater. Something that knows your silent questions. Something that sees your unseen pain. And today you're going to hear the words you were never able to say, and the ones you were always meant to receive. This isn't just another emotional video. It's a direct divine message, filled with signs, answers, forgiveness, and a truth no one ever told you about what really happens after death. But before we dive into that, there's one thing you need to understand about why you've been feeling the way you've been feeling. And once you do, it will make sense why your soul hasn't been able to rest, and why that's about to change starting now. Topic 1. This is not a coincidence. Stop for a moment and take this in. You were meant to find this message. Not yesterday. Not next week. No. And I want you to let that settle, because what just happened wasn't by chance. You didn't land here through a random click. This is a spiritual alignment, a divine intervention orchestrated with precision. Out of all the videos you could have seen, all the messages you could have ignored, you were guided by God to this exact one. That's not something that just happens. That's heaven leaning in. That's the creator of the universe reaching through time, technology, and turmoil to remind you, you are not forgotten. This is more than a message. It's a moment. A spiritual checkpoint placed in your path to wake your soul up. And let's be honest, it's arriving at a time when you've been craving clarity, longing for something real, something beyond the noise. Whether you knew it or not, your heart has been praying for this. That ache inside? That sense that there must be more? That's not weakness, that's spiritual awakening. And this video is your sign. A message from heaven that your path is being realigned and that God's promise for you hasn't expired. Think back for a second. How many times have you asked, even silently, God, just show me a sign? You've whispered it into pillows, into late-night drives, into journal pages no one ever read. And now here it is. God is speaking to you, not through thunder but through truth wrapped in pixels and presence. This is the kind of moment people overlook because it feels too quiet, too ordinary. But that's how the divine often moves. Subtle, personal, intentional. This message is proof that you are not alone, and that the timing of your life is not a mistake. You see, heaven is real, and those whispers you've been feeling, those sudden thoughts that seem too perfect to be yours, that's how heaven nudges us. Maybe you've seen feathers, coins, numbers repeating. Maybe you felt your skin crawl at just the right lyric playing when you needed hope. These are signs from God, and they come wrapped in everyday moments, until you finally notice that you've been followed by grace all along. And when it feels like the world isn't listening, know that heaven always is. This is a divine comfort, not a coincidence. God sees your pain, and He responds in ways that reach deeper than words ever could. And here's the truth, being chosen by God rarely looks glamorous at first. It often looks like pain, like silence, like seasons where nothing makes sense. But it's in that very confusion that your spirit becomes sensitive to the supernatural. It's when your plans fall apart that God's plan begins to unfold. Sometimes, we're so focused on surviving that we don't realize we're being set up for a spiritual breakthrough. This message marks the beginning of that shift. You may not feel ready. That's okay, no one ever really does. But here you are, reading this, feeling that stir in your chest that says, this is for me. That's not emotion, that's spiritual reassurance. That's heaven saying, you're seen, you're heard, you matter. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to stay open. Because when God brings you to a message like this, He's not just encouraging you, He's preparing you. Preparing you to heal, to release, to reconnect with a love that never left. And that love, it doesn't end even in death. In fact, death is where the next part of this message begins. Topic 2. Your father is alive in the spiritual realm. He didn't disappear. He didn't cease to exist. What happened was a transition, not an ending. Your father is more alive now than ever, just in a form you can't touch with your hands. But you can feel Him with your heart. His presence still lingers in the quiet moments, in dreams that feel too vivid to be dreams, in songs that remind you of Him at just the right time. You may not see Him, but oh, He sees you. And not with regret or sorrow, but with pride, with peace, with an unshakable love. That's not your imagination playing tricks. That's a message from heaven, a whisper from the other side reminding you that heaven is real. Your Father now exists in a realm untouched by pain, by limitation, by time. And in that realm, God's promise continues, not only for him but for you. If you felt his absence like a hole in your soul, let this truth find you. Your Father in heaven is not gone. He's just gone ahead. His story didn't end. It just turned the page. There's something sacred about understanding that death is not a disappearance, but a relocation. It's like when someone you love moves far away, you can't visit them physically but they're still alive, just living in a place beyond your reach. That's what the spiritual realm is. And in that space your Father is at peace. More than that, he's aware. He's tuned in. He watches you with a clarity he never had on earth. He sees your struggles now through the eyes of eternal love, not filtered by human limitation. And yes, sometimes he tries to reach you. That warm breeze out of nowhere. That flickering light. That sudden smell that reminds you of him. These aren't just moments, they're spiritual reassurances, subtle echoes from a Father who still shows up. And maybe that's why you were brought to this message, because he knew it was time you remembered. Time you believed again that this life isn't all there is. That there's more. That love doesn't die, it evolves. And your relationship with him isn't over, it's just different now. That's the kind of comfort from heaven that can break through even the deepest grief. And let's be honest, grief can trick you. It can make you believe that the connection is gone, that because he isn't physically near, he no longer cares. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, being in the spiritual realm allows him to love you without limits. No more earthly distractions, no more pain, no more misunderstanding, just pure, divine comfort. Your Father is free now, but he's not distant. He's not some ghostly memory fading into the past. He's vibrant, present, with God. And from that sacred space, he watches over you with fierce devotion. He knows about the nights you've cried, the moments you whispered his name, the things you wish you'd said. And he doesn't judge, he understands. That's what spiritual protection feels like. It's not always a voice. Sometimes it's just knowing deep in your soul that you are not alone. And if you listen closely, in those moments when the world is quiet, you just might hear what he's been trying to tell you all along. Topic 3: Your Father's urgent message. If your Father could sit with you right now, face to face, heart to heart, there are things he would say that would change the way you see everything. Not just soft words of love, but urgent truths your soul has been aching to hear. The first is this: he sees your struggles. All of them. The ones you've cried through and the ones you've hidden behind fake smiles. He's watched you fight silent battles, carry invisible weights, and keep going when others would have collapsed. And in every moment where you felt weak, unworthy, or just plain tired, he's been there, not in memory but in presence. In spiritual form, your Father watches with a love that sees past your mistakes, past your guilt, straight into your heart. This is reassurance from God, sent through the voice of someone who knew you better than most. He's whispering, "I see you and I'm proud." Not for being perfect but for continuing. That's what divine comfort sounds like. Not judgment but gentle acknowledgement that your pain is valid and your journey matters. He also wants you to know something deeper. He understands your pain. Not just the surface grief but the layered, complicated kind, the anger, the loneliness, the confusion. The things you didn't have words for. In his new form he carries no ego, no need to explain or defend. Just pure understanding. He knows about the times you've questioned your worth, doubted your faith, or wondered if things would ever get better. And instead of turning away, he draws closer. Because his love wasn't buried, it was transformed. What once lived in a human body now moves through angelic presence. His message is wrapped in warmth, but it's also direct. You're not broken. You're becoming. The very fact that you're still here, still open to this message, proves that your spirit is resilient. And he wants you to stop believing the lie that you're forgotten. You're not. God sees your pain and so does your Father. And together they've been aligning signs, spiritual protection, divine nudges, moments of grace, all to lead you back to truth. That truth is, you are deeply loved and remembered. And finally, perhaps the most important part of his message is this: he never stopped loving you, not for a second. Even in moments when you felt distant. Even when grief made you numb. Love doesn't require physical presence to remain real. In fact, the love he now gives is even purer, free from limitation. He walks beside you. He celebrates your victories in silence and sends peace in your low moments. He's the soft voice that calms your anxiety at night, the warmth that shows up when you need it most. He's watching not with sadness but with pride. And he continues to love you fiercely, fully, eternally. That's the kind of love that never dies, because it was never just human to begin with. It came from something higher. Something chosen by God. And if there's anything he wants you to carry from this message, it's that you are not alone. Never have been, never will be. But to truly receive this love, there's something else you need to hear. Something that will finally set your heart free. Topic 4, forgiveness, peace, and emotional release. There's something you've been carrying, and it's heavier than it looks. Guilt, regret, unspoken words. Maybe you've replayed certain moments over and over again in your mind, wishing you'd said more, done more, loved harder. That's normal. Loss doesn't just take someone from our life, it leaves behind echoes of what could have been. But here's the truth your Father desperately wants you to hear. You are forgiven. Completely. Fully. Unconditionally. He's not holding anything against you. Not the things you said in anger, not the times you distanced yourself, not even the moments when you felt numb after he passed. In the spiritual realm, love is purified. There's no ego, no resentment, only understanding. Your Father sees everything clearly now, and he knows your heart. This message from heaven is your invitation to stop punishing yourself for being human. You don't need to carry the weight of unfinished conversations. What you didn't get to say, he already knows. What you still feel, he already feels. That's the beauty of divine comfort. It doesn't demand perfection, only honesty. Let's talk about that emotional armor you've been wearing. You know the one. The fake strength, the forced smiles, the "I'm fine" responses when your soul is screaming otherwise. You've held it together for so long, and maybe you thought that was your job, to stay strong for everyone else. But strength isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about letting yourself feel it and still choosing to move forward. And now, your Father, from the spiritual realm where he dwells in light, is giving you permission to let go. To cry if you need to grieve in your own way, to stop pretending. There is no shame in being honest with your pain. In fact, emotional healing begins when you allow the truth to rise. This is not weakness, it's transformation. A spiritual breakthrough that starts when you finally realize grief and peace can coexist. And that peace is not something you earn, it's something you're given. You've been holding your breath. Now it's time to exhale. This is your moment to release guilt and fear, and open yourself to the divine guidance you've been unknowingly resisting. Your Father wants you to know this. You don't have to get over anything to move forward. Healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means no longer being imprisoned by the past. He has already released you from anything you think you owe him. He's not disappointed. He's not waiting for an apology. He just wants you free. Because freedom is what allows you to grow, to love again, to live fully. That's his prayer for you now, not to stay stuck in memories, but to live the kind of life that would make him smile from beyond. Let this be your permission to stop asking what if, and start asking what now. This is what it means to receive comfort from heaven, not only to be consoled but to be set free. And now that your heart is lighter, now that you've opened a space inside you where forgiveness can live, something powerful is about to step in. A protector. A warrior. A messenger sent directly for moments like this. His name is Archangel Michael, and he's already closer than you think. Topic 5. Spiritual protection from Archangel Michael. In moments when the world feels overwhelming, when anxiety creeps in, when darkness seems louder than light, you're not facing it alone. You never were. There is a presence that's been with you from the very beginning, silently standing guard, cutting through fear and shielding you from harm even when you didn't know danger was near. That presence is Archangel Michael, heaven's fiercest defender, and your personal protector. He doesn't just visit in times of crisis, he walks with you daily. Think of him as the spiritual warrior assigned to your soul. His sword doesn't cut flesh but energy. His shield doesn't block bullets, but emotional attacks, spiritual interference, and lies whispered into your mind by fear. Every time you were about to spiral into panic but found sudden peace, every time you avoided something that could have gone horribly wrong, every time you felt courage rise out of nowhere, that was spiritual protection in action. That was Archangel Michael's message, not shouted, but felt. And right now, in this very moment, he's wrapping his wings around you again. People often ask, why am I under attack if I'm doing the right thing? But the truth is, light always draws resistance. And your soul, especially when it's on the edge of healing, growth, and a spiritual breakthrough, becomes a magnet for both divine support and dark distraction. That's why God never sends you into battle alone. He sends warriors. And Archangel Michael is the one he sends when the fight is heavy. He is the guardian of your purpose, the keeper of your peace. He doesn't just protect you from outside threats. He fights the silent enemies within. Self-doubt, discouragement, fear of the future, guilt over the past. Every time you felt like giving up but didn't, it was because someone was standing over you with a sword of light, whispering, "You were chosen by God. You will not fall here." That's not poetic, that's divine reality. And if you invite him in through prayer, simple, honest words like, "Michael, protect me, strengthen me," you'll feel that shift. You'll feel the fear lose its grip. That's not just emotional. That's spiritual defense on your behalf. But here's the deeper truth. Michael doesn't just protect you to keep you safe. He protects you because something new is coming. You've been under pressure because something inside you is expanding. And heaven is clearing the way for it. Think of every battle you've fought as preparation, not punishment. Archangel Michael has stood by, clearing the spiritual clutter, driving back what was sent to derail you and preparing you for the shift ahead. Because yes, a new season from God is on the horizon. A season where the pain will finally make sense. Where the confusion will turn into clarity. And Michael? He's not just helping you survive the storm, he's helping you step into the blessing that's coming after it. You were never meant to live in fear. You were never meant to walk alone. And now, under divine protection, you're finally ready to see what heaven has been preparing all along. Topic 6. A new season is beginning. You've been in survival mode for so long that you forgot what peace even feels like. But now something is shifting. Not in the world outside you, in the atmosphere within you. This isn't just another emotional wave. It's a divine signal. Your new season has begun. What you went through wasn't in vain. Every tear, every unanswered question, every delay, it all had a purpose. And heaven is now flipping the page of your life story. You're not stuck, you're being transitioned. And while it may feel unfamiliar or even uncomfortable, this shift is sacred. God is moving you from survival to healing, from confusion to clarity, from despair to restoration. This is more than a phase, it's a spiritual awakening. And the first sign of it? That quiet nudge in your spirit that says, something new is coming. That's divine guidance, gently but firmly pulling you forward. Not pushing, pulling. Because heaven never forces, it invites. Let go of the lie that you missed your chance. You didn't. The delays? Divine. The detours? Designed. The heartbreaks? Holy even if they hurt. You're stepping into a season where God's timing is aligning with your readiness. Not your perfection, your readiness. And sometimes readiness looks like brokenness. Like surrender. Like saying, God, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm done trying to do it without you. That's the kind of honesty that unlocks miracles. The divine intervention you've been waiting for isn't coming from the outside, it's already rising inside you. That feeling of being almost there, of something about to break loose, isn't wishful thinking. It's the Spirit moving. And in this new chapter, you're not rebuilding alone. You're surrounded by unseen support, angels, loved ones in heaven, and divine forces clearing paths you don't even see yet. That's the power of walking with heaven. Even when you don't see progress, you're being carried forward by grace. But as you step into this new season, know this, it won't look like the old. You can't take old pain into a new promise. You can't drag guilt, shame, or the weight of what was into the garden of what's coming. That's why the last season felt so heavy, it was pressing the old out of you. So now it's time to make room. Room for faith and healing, for comfort from heaven, for real joy, not the kind that comes and goes but the kind that stays. This season is not about fixing what's broken. It's about discovering what's been whole inside you all along. And guess what? Your Father in heaven has been watching all of it unfold, not with sorrow but with joy. Because he knows what's next. He sees the healing already on its way. And while this new chapter may still have challenges, you won't be walking into it alone. Not now, not ever. Topic 7, you are not alone. There are moments when the silence feels deafening. When it seems like your prayers bounce off the ceiling. When everyone around you seems present but you feel invisible. But here's the truth that the world tries to bury and your spirit longs to remember. You are not alone. Not for 1 second. Not in the darkest night, not in the deepest pain, not even when you felt abandoned. That loneliness you've been carrying isn't a lack of love. It's a lack of awareness of how deeply you're loved. Because surrounding you at all times is a spiritual support system so real, so powerful, that if you could physically see it, you'd weep in awe. There are loved ones in heaven who still walk with you. Angels assigned to your purpose. Divine presences whispering wisdom, strength, and comfort when you think you have nothing left. And yes, God is speaking to you, not always with words but with presence. Through sunsets, through silence, through the very breath in your lungs. Loneliness may knock, but it is not your permanent companion. You've probably felt it, that sense that someone is near even when the room is empty. That surge of calm in the middle of your panic. That sudden sense of clarity when confusion was suffocating you. Those aren't coincidences. They are signs from God. Echoes from beyond. Moments where divine comfort overrides earthly emotion. Your Father in heaven? He's one of the voices in that unseen choir surrounding you. He hasn't let go. He never will. And neither has heaven. There are angels stationed around you. Spiritual protection that goes before you, stands beside you, and guards your back. You're surrounded not by spectators but by warriors. You are covered in unseen support. And the reason it matters so much for you to know this now is because isolation is one of the enemy's favorite tricks. If he can convince you that you're fighting alone, he can convince you to give up. But once you realize that heaven fights with you, giving up stops being an option. And the beauty of it all? You don't have to earn this support. You don't have to be perfect enough or spiritual enough to be covered. You were chosen by God, not by accident but by design. That means this divine backup was assigned to your name long before you were born. Your tears don't go unnoticed. Your silence doesn't go unheard. Your struggles don't go unwitnessed. There's a spiritual reassurance in knowing that even in your most vulnerable moments, you are held. Fully, fiercely, faithfully. And now that you know you're not alone, something else becomes possible. Something bigger than comfort. Bigger than clarity. It's the one thing that activates every promise, every breakthrough, every new beginning. And that one thing is faith. Topic 8. A call to faith and trust. There comes a moment in every journey where logic fails, and only faith can carry you forward. Maybe you're standing in that moment right now. The place where things don't add up, prayers seem unanswered, and silence feels louder than any sign. But hear this, God's silence is not his absence. It's often his invitation, a divine challenge to trust even when you can't trace him. Faith isn't about seeing everything clearly. It's about trusting the one who sees beyond what you can. Right now, heaven is asking you to lean into that trust. Not because you're weak, but because your strength was never meant to carry this alone. This is where trust in God's plan becomes your greatest weapon. You've asked, why hasn't it happened yet? But heaven has been working in rooms you don't see, behind doors you didn't know existed. Timing matters, and God's timing is never late, only layered with purpose. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. Think of it like this. A seed doesn't scream while it grows underground. It simply trusts the soil. You too are in a growing season, even if everything feels still. Faith isn't passive. It's powerful. It's the choice to stand in the dark and still believe the light is coming. And when you do, you give God room to move. That's how spiritual breakthroughs begin. Not in the moment everything makes sense, but in the moment you say, even if I don't see it, I believe it. That's when the atmosphere shifts. That's when heaven leans in. And no, you're not blind. You're being refined. Your waiting is not wasted. Your struggle is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of alignment. Because those who are chosen by God often go through seasons that don't look like favor, but are deeply soaked in purpose. If you hold on just a little longer, you'll see why it all had to happen this way. Faith and healing are on the other side of your yes. So here's the invitation. Don't give up. Don't let fear steal what's meant for you. Don't let delay convince you that heaven changed its mind. You are still in the story. Still under divine protection. Still surrounded by unseen support. And as you move forward, don't forget everything you've learned. About your Father, about grace, about the reality of the spiritual realm, and the power of divine guidance. This isn't the end. It's the setup for something greater. Something that will not only heal you, but awaken something inside you that's been waiting for permission to rise. And now that you know, now that your eyes are open, the only question left is, will you trust what's next? Now that you've heard this message, what will you do with it? Will you carry it quietly, or will you let it activate something new inside you? Because now you know the truth. You are not alone, you are seen, you are loved, and your story is far from over. Your Father is still with you. Heaven is still speaking. And the next chapter of your life is waiting for your yes. But let me ask you, how many times have you needed a message like this and didn't find it in time? Don't let someone else miss out the way you almost did. Click like if this spoke to your heart. Share it with someone who needs to feel seen and protected. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because we're just getting started. There are more divine messages coming. More healing. More answers. If this moved you, imagine what's next. This isn't the end, it's your invitation to stay connected with the voice of heaven. Because when you listen, God keeps speaking.